Good evening. A federal court halts executions in Oklahoma 24 hours before the state's first lethal injection since 2015. However, the stay may not stick.
The Attorney General is taking his case to resume executions to the U.S. Supreme Court. News 9 Storm Jones has tonight's top story for us. Storm?
Kelly and Amanda, the last-minute stays for John Grant and Julius Jones revolve around the state's execution protocol. More than 30 death row prisoners are currently challenging it in federal court. However, Grant, Jones, and 3 others refused to select an alternative execution method, something the district judge said they're required to do. Today, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals says that wasn't necessary. But now the U.S. Supreme Court will have the final say. I questioned the man overseeing the state's protocol. Whether executions resume tomorrow or months from now, he says the state stands ready.
Clayton Lockett writhed on the table for 43 minutes.
But a final appeal from the Supreme Court had been denied.
He said, I was poked 5 times and it feels like acid.
The last-minute intervention by Governor Mary Fallin.
Richard Glossop, he was in his underwear in a cell next to the death chamber.
It's a very, very serious matter for the state.
They were uncomfortable with the drug cocktail.
The state of Oklahoma is prepared to move forward with the death penalty and doing it in an efficient, humane manner.
Convicted murderer John Grant was set to die Thursday.
For his last meal, he requested 2 bacon cheeseburgers with onion, tomato, pickles, lettuce, and mustard, a half gallon of ice cream, a large bag of barbecue chips, a large package of Nutter Butter sandwich cookies, and a 2-liter bottle of Mr. Pibb. That is Mr. Grant's last wish.
Julius Jones was also in a segregated cell preparing for his final day on Earth, deciding who he wanted to talk with, who he wanted in the viewing room, what he wanted for his last meal. But now that's all on hold again as a lawsuit against the state's execution protocol moves forward.
There have been problems historically with the 3-drug protocol in Oklahoma.
Do you understand why many Oklahomans doubt the Department of Corrections' ability to do this properly?
I understand why there's concerns in the manner in which executions were carried out before, and quite honestly, I don't like the fact that Oklahoma has been in the headlines as not being able to carry out an execution or have been associated with the word botched. I do understand that.
DOC Director Scott Crow says the state's new execution protocol doesn't allow for any substitutions to the lethal drug cocktail.
I am very confident in the source.
Something he says was the root of problems in 2015. Crow blames the 2014 botched execution on issues with the IV placement.
This is not about carrying out executions or carrying out this responsibility haphazardly, that we will not carry out an execution in the state of Oklahoma haphazardly.
Has the state of Oklahoma carried out executions haphazardly in the past?
I was not directly involved in those executions, so I really can't comment on that.
I'll assure you the Department of Corrections has gone to great measures to make sure that the drugs, which are the 3 that have been approved, are used.
Federal public defenders have waged a long-running legal battle against the state's execution protocol, arguing the first of 3 drugs is unreliable and ineffective in sedating prisoners during the execution process.
Midazolam was used in the Clayton Lockett execution, and if you remember, it took almost 40 minutes for Mr. Lockett to die. He bucked up against the straps, he was talking, he was writhing on the gurney. So this is a problematic drug.
As Attorney General John O'Connor fights the legal battles against the state's execution protocol, he says he's equally confident in the guilt of those to be executed.
The national attention is really not relevant to me at all. What's relevant is what laws have the people of Oklahoma approved for the punishment of certain crimes?
Well, I've placed a lot of emphasis, a lot of resources toward making sure that the state of Oklahoma has this right, that the team with the Oklahoma Department of Corrections carries this out in accordance with state law, with our policy and our protocol, and I am very, very confident that we are going to be able to accomplish that.
All of this happening while the trial for more than 20 death row inmates begins early next year. Storm Jones, Oklahoma's own News 9.